I just couldn't find the word problems in your homework. My plan was to go, after going over these questions, to go over some questions for the homework. But since I could not find it, so I'm not going to do that. Once we are done with our lessons, we'll just go home. And if you need any help with what problems, you can go to the tutoring or talk to me after class, next class, or the class after that. So the most important word problems about parabola is these four things. Something about maximizing or minimizing.
That one's in one of the quizzes.
Quiz?
Yeah.
But not in the homework?
I haven't completed all the homework, but I did see it in one of the quizzes about the max. What is the maximum point that the ball will reach?
So final exam will have something like this. So there are three types of questions that usually comes in the final exam.
What chapter is this?
Chapter 11, but I don't know the section. Somewhere in chapter 11. The word problems in chapter 11. They put few types of word problems. In one type of word problem, the equation is smaller, so you're not allowed to use calculator. In another type of question, they put these numbers are big, so it's for calculator. If the numbers are big, it's the calculator portion. If the numbers are smaller, it's the non-calculator portion. And they put two of these in that example.
These questions go like this and the calculator. And this.
So if you have a graphic calculator, your life is easy. All you have to do is know how to find a specific point.
And then we're gonna use a calculator for this section.
For this one, yes. Not this section, for this question. For this question, you're gonna use calculator.
Now?
Sure, no problem. Of course. They require TI 89. But if you have TI 84, another version, no problem.
So it inspires by.
I never use Inspire. So doesn't have all the functionality you need to find a specific point, like maximum point or minimum point or asking the steps. Doesn't have all those functions.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Okay. So in this class, we don't need 89, in my opinion, because all the things you're gonna do, these are small things. But for 2003, if we have 89, it's best. Okay, so even being allowed to use calculator, it doesn't mean you simply go and use a calculator without showing anyone. If you don't show anyone and just write down the answer, it's 0. So how are you going to show what? Showing what comes here. It says at what time we are doing this. So how do you know what's the time? What you are finding? The first you have to do some work and then use a calculator to find the answer. So starting from the beginning, we have some crazy people, a crazy guy, and he went up of a building. He went top of a building, okay, and he decided to throw a ball from a top of a building. Why? I have no idea. If he wouldn't do that, we didn't have to do this math. But since he did that, so we stuck with this question. So let me draw some picture for you. We have a building. Why it's so fat? We have a building, and there is a guy or girl, I don't know. There's a person standing on top of the building, and let's assume it's a he. He has a ball on his hand. He decided to throw. So if you observe, anytime you actually throw something, it doesn't go linearly. It actually goes up, right? And then it reaches at maximum point, and then it comes down. Okay? Anytime you throw something, if you throw it in a curvy way, it must go up and then comes down. Now, what this thing looks like? path of the ball?
Parabola.
Parabola. So if this is the maxima, what point we have there? What's the name of the point? Perfect. Anytime in this section, they ask you for maximum or minimum, it means go find the vertex. Okay? Anytime maximum, minimum means vertex. So let me write that down for you. Maximum or minimum automatically means go find the vertex. But vertex is a point. It's not a number, it's a point. So it has two things. One is the x value and one is the y value, right? Because it's a point. Now, all these examples we did so far about parabola, we had equation like y equals negative 16x squared plus 37x plus 1556. Something where we had a y on one side and x on the other side, right? Now we don't have that. Instead, we have h of t is negative 16t squared plus 37t plus 1556. So in here, what is our x? We don't have an x, right? So instead of x, what variable we have? T. Wonderful. And instead of y, what do we have? H of t. So t means x. It represents the time. Can you guess what is h of t? It represents what? The height. Height of what? Height of the ball. If you can understand this scenario, that means you already have done with your math. This is the hardest part, figuring out what you're working with. Okay? So it throws the ball, it goes up, it comes down, and in the first question is, and this has the height for the ball at any moment is represented by this equation. So when time is 0, this is 0, this is 0, so we have this number. That means before even he starts throwing the ball, the height of the ball is 1556, which is same height as the building. Okay? Because he's standing on the top of the building, so building's height and the ball's height is the same before he starts throwing the ball. Once he starts throwing the ball, after 1 second, is replace t with 1. Whatever we get, that's the height of the ball.
So in the equation, they count the height of the building as additional height.
This one.
Okay.
This sentence actually was a long sentence. I cut it down to fit like anyone. Okay, so the h of t means height of the ball at any moment t. T represents any moment, any time. Now the first question we are asking, at what time the ball reaches the maximum height? So what we are looking for?
And it's equal to 0?
At what time the ball reaches the maximum height? Maximum, minimum is what? Vertex. But vertex has two things, x and y. In our case, it's t or h of t, or time or height. So which one they're asking to find? X. At what time? Time is our x value. That means in A, they want us to find the x value of the vertex. In B says, what is the maximum height? So what you're looking for here? Y value of the vertex. The height of the ball is the y value, and maximum happens at the vertex. So maximum height of the ball is the y value of the vertex. Is it clear? This is the hardest thing to figuring out. What is given and what they want us to find out. So in A, we're going to find the T, the vertex, and in B, we're going to find A to T, the height of the vertex. Now in C, this is at what time the ball will reach a height of 150 feet. So the whole building is 1556. 150 probably somewhere here, right? So what is given? What is this 150 feet? Is it the T or the H of T? Which one? It says the height of 150 feet. This is our height. So they gave us this height, 150 feet. And what do they want us to find? At what time? It means find this T when this height is 150. And the last one. When the ball hits the ground, they didn't give us any number. They are simply asking when or after how many seconds the ball will hit the ground. So what we are finding here? If T is 0, it means when before starting throwing the ball, what was the height?
Zero.
No.
So they want us to find the value when H of T equals 0. Is that it?
They hit the ground. When the ball hits the ground, what is the height of the ball? The height of the ball is 0, not the time 0. So you say time 0, not time, it's height. When means find out time. At what time the height of the ball will be 0? Confused, Chris?
Yeah. So we just wait but when the height is 0.
Okay, throw the ball comes down. When it comes down, after how many seconds? So they didn't give us a number. We have to figure out. If they didn't give us a number, that means is lying here. When the ball hits the ground, what is our height?
0.
0. We are solving for T when this thingy is 0. So what type of question in one question?
So we're finding H of T equals 0 for find Y for B. A we're finding the vertex, and where we're finding the B.
So at what time we have maximum height means X value of the vertex. What is the maximum height? It's the Y value of the vertex. C says at what time? So we are find time when the ball reaches 150 feet. So 150 feet is the height. Height means when Y is 150. When the ball hits the ground, our height is 0. So for D, we are going to find T when Y is 0. So that's the 4 scenarios, and you'll see the same scenarios in different applications. But that's the main idea. Only 4 scenarios. Find X value of the vertex, Y value of the vertex, and then some number will be given for Y, and find out the variable when the Y is 0. When Y is 0, and you find T, what this T represents? Never mind. Let's see what with X. So when Y is 0 and you solve for X, what's the name of that point? What name of that number?
The X intercept.
Good job. So in other words, we are finding X-intercept here. It's good to know because if you use your graphing calculator, you're looking for the 2 X-intercepts. Yeah, and when you're finding maximum minimum, you're just looking for your vertex. If you find the vertex, you know the answer for A and B. For D or Y is 0, anytime Y is 0, it means you're looking for azimuth. Okay, now let's do them one by one. A. It says find the x value of the vertex. And now you have to show your work. Even though you use a calculator, but still have to show the work. What is the x value of the vertex? How do you find?
Is it negative 0, BA?
Negative b over 2a. If you don't see the vertex, we have to apply a formula to get the vertex. But we don't get the vertex, the whole vertex, we get half the x value only. So in our case, we have negative 37 over 2 times negative 16, which is negative 37 over negative 36. And now you use the calculator. It will be 1 point something. One point something. 36 over 37.
0.03.
0 what?
0.2. It has a 0.
0.3. So the ball will reach its maximum height after 1.03 seconds of throwing the ball. So from here to go there, it is only 1 second. It reaches the maximum height and then comes down. It depends on the multiple choice. In the final exam, it will be multiple choice. So you're going to see the multiple choice. In class exam, 2 or 3 is fine. 2 or 3. B says, since you have the x value, now go ahead, find the y value of the vertex. Unfortunately, we don't have any formula for the y value of the vertex. So what do you do? Please.
Put the x value where the x is.
We substitute x with the number we just got in the equation. I should actually write t, because here we are working with time, not x. So y value, which represents the height, is negative 16, 1.03 square plus 37, 1.03 plus 1556. And now you can use the calculator. I have a scientific calculator, so I can show you work on scientific calculator. We have 16 with a negative. We are multiplying 1.03 square. With that, we are adding 37 times 1.03. With that, we are adding 1556. 1577. I didn't see the next 14. And it's feet. One five seven seven point 14 feet. That means from here to here, this whole distance is 1577. So he started from the distance 155 feet, and he reaches only how many? 22. 22 feet above the long. It's a large distance, right? 22 feet.
In 1 second.
Yeah, in 1 second. Wow, he must be a very good thrower, right? He has good speed. So, any questions so far? Punish. Negative cancel out. 2 times 16 is like 32. Oh no! It's 32, not 36. So do the math again. What is 37 over 32? Still it's 1 point, but 1 point something else.
1.156 or 1.16.
1.156. So let's say 1.16. So this is 1.16, 1.16. That means our height will be even higher than that. Yeah, even better thrower. So now you know how to find the y value. So give me the number. I'm too lazy to redo my work.
Says 1577.39.
Oh, I didn't make much difference. Wow. Still 22 feet and a little bit more. Why 3 always looks so weird? It's 3. So any question on this? The height, maximum height, minimum height? In the final exam, you'll have at least one of these. They always have questions from maximum, minimum. And sometimes x-intercept the y is given. The next one, it says, at what time the height will be 150? So the height is 150 feet given. That means the y value we have here is 150. That is equals negative 16t squared plus 37t plus 1556. Our goal is to solve for t. What do we do? What is the fast way to get the t alone? Subtract what? No. Remember, to solve, what do you have to see in one side? Yeah. So how can you see 0 in one side? Subtract 150. That will give us 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 37t plus 6 minus 0 is 6, 5 minus 5 is 0, 5 minus 1 is 4, and 1. That means our goal is to find the x-intercept. Because when y is 0, whatever we are solving for, that is always x-intercept. So you can use quadratic formula if you don't have a graphing calculator. But if you do have a graphing calculator, you can simply find the x-intercept in the graph. Let's say you don't have graphing calculator. So t is negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac whole thing over 2a. And it is that formula. Let's do it here. Negative 16 plus minus negative 16 squared minus 4 times, oh, sorry, what I'm doing. It's negative b. So negative 37 plus minus square root of 37 squared 4 times negative 16 times 1406. Whole thing divided by 2 times negative 16. And you're gonna find the answer for that.
So the discriminant is 302.5.
So you're gonna get a real solution.
So we have negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 300. That's already. So negative 37 plus or minus 302.25 over negative
3 what?
302.25. So 25.
Over negative 32. And we'll get negative 37 plus 302.25 over negative 32. The minus 1, we are gonna get this. No. So we have negative 37 minus 302.25 over negative 32. This one we have to disregard because the numerator is my bad. Numerator is negative, denominator is negative, so it turns into a positive. So we are going to accept this, but we are going to disregard that because here we are going to have plus on the top, minus on the bottom. The answer will be minus, so we cannot take it because time cannot be negative. How do I know all this? Because look at here, I didn't do math. I only look at the sign. 302 is bigger, it has a plus sign, so I have to say plus on the top. The bottom has a negative, so the bottom has a minus. When you divide the plus and minus, the answer is minus, but time cannot be minus. So we disregard this one. And we go to the next one. We have minus and minus, answer has to be minus. When you subtract two things, you get the negative result. Denominator is already negative, so answer going to be plus. So we are going to accept that, so find out how much is that. Some number.
0.01.
60. 60 looks weird, so 10.6 seconds. Finally, the last one says, hits the ground, it means our height is 0. Whenever something hits the ground doesn't have any height, it's 0. So in other words, we have 0 as y, and we have negative 16 t squared plus 37t plus 1556. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to find t equals negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac whole thing divided by 2a. But I'm not going to do that again. Instead, I'm going to show you how to use calculator to find it. It's I don't have a calculator. I'm going to just show you in Desmos. What do we have? 1637, 1556. It's still working. We have our equation is y equals negative 16. They don't recognize t. Same thing your calculator, it may not recognize t, so you can use x instead of t. Negative 16x squared plus 37x plus 1556. Right? Negative 16, positive 37, 1556. See? We don't see a parabola. Same thing that's going to happen in your calculator. When you plug in, you're not going to see the parabola. Why not? Because they have a big number. But look at our window. It's too small. So first thing you have to do is you have to fix your window in your calculator. Now we see two things. So these are our two x-intercepts. If you're looking for x-intercepts, that's what you're gonna find. In TI-84, what we do is we pick a number from here, and then we pick a number from there, and then we click enter, that gives us that number. That's how we find x-intercept in TI-89, TI-84. Same thing here, you pick something before the number, something after the number, and then you click enter again, that will give you that number as that number. So make sure before the exam, you know how to find x-intercept and vertex in your calculator. Type on Google how to find vertex and the name of your calculator. Or on YouTube, they will tell you the answer. So for this one, you have two x-intercepts. One is negative 8.8, the other one is 11.1. Are you going to accept both?
No.
So which one you have to disregard? The last one is a negative. We cannot have negative time. Remember, our x-intercept is a time in our scenario. So we cannot take negative, we're going to disregard. The only solution we are going to have is 11.1. So we'll have a graph. That height will be a huge one. Here we have negative 8, and here we have 11.1. We disregard that because time cannot be negative. So our answer is this one. This is the time you're looking for.
That's gonna be when it hits the ground.
Hits the ground or anytime your y is 0. We can use the same scenario here because our y is 0. You can type this in your calculator and then find the x-intercept. For vertex, it's the same process. Vertex is way up. The height we have for the building is 1.56, and our vertex is it must be above that. That means we're going you have to zoom out a lot to see the vertex. And then in TI-89, so not 89, in TI-84 to find the vertex, you go, there's an option called maximum. You click on maximum. They will ask you to pick a point on the left of the maximum, and then you're going to scroll your cursor and then pick another point on the right of the maximum, and then you click enter again. That will give you the maximum. See 1.16 and 1577.39.
Wait, is that on,
It's for question A and B.
yeah, so you said maximum? And then what else?
Click on maximum, and then they'll tell you what to do next. It says pick a point on the left, right? So you pick any point below that, and then move your cursor to the other side of the maximum, and then enter, and then you enter it once again. So you have to enter 3 times total. And then they will tell you. Our points are kind of off, right? It's 1.15. So what do we have? 1.16, okay, and this is 39. 39. Oh no, we got exact number.
I only see the graph like that.
Do you find your maximum? Do you see the maximum?
It's showing me the maximum thing.
The answer will be on the lower side of your screen.
Yeah, I see it. So that's it?
Mhm.
Okay.
So you take those two numbers, those are the maximum, x and y. Okay, so even if you use calculator, you have to show what? Any question on this? Find the maximum, minimum, or time when heights are given. Wonderful. So it's time for you to have some practice. And this time, no calculator allowed because the numbers are small. In the final exam, you're going to have two parts of the exam. In first 1 hour 30 minutes, it's non-calculator. So you're going to do everything in 1 hour 30 minutes. Then you're going to give your exam back. And then for the last 30 minutes, you're going to get your second part of the exam where you're going to use the calculator. And our third exam will be like that. Two parts. The first part is non-calculator, second part is with calculator. Non-calculator has 24 questions, and calculator we have only 8 questions. And among the 30 questions, 24 will be multiple choice. 6 non-multiple choice. So in the 6 questions, you can get a partial credit, but for multiple choice, there is no partial credit. You must show the correct work and pick the correct choice. For the other questions in the homework, go to a tutor. They can't do them alone. Or search on YouTube or on Google. Sometimes they give a detailed solution so you can see the process, how to solve those questions. But you don't have to worry about those you don't have to worry about those questions about the exam. They will not be in the final exam. If I'm not wrong. Which section is it? Chapter 11. So yeah, I'm going to extend the 11 date again, and then you can take it.
When will be the due date?
After 1 week, next week Sunday.
That's just, it takes 10% off, right? Like you can still do it out though, but
Yeah, but I can't do anything about the 10%. I tried, but I didn't accept my
It's 10% per day? Or
10% of how much you do after the due date.
it's just like flat. Anytime after.
Oh, okay, so it's not gonna be like 10% each day that it's late?
No,
Okay.
10% of how much you complete after the due date.
What if we completed it, we should really get a better grade? Still?
Try it and see what happens.
Okay.
If it's not showing you, it's like not get 10% off.
From my side, I see there is no 10% off, there's no penalty. But you guys told me before that you have 10% penalty. So I search everywhere and at some place, I see there's a no penalty. I also clicked no penalty, but still you guys have penalty. So I don't know where that penalty is coming from. Because from my side, the setting says there is no penalty. So probably my MATLAB is controlling that. Let me know once I extend the date. If you still have a penalty, let me know. Since there isn't many people, so I'm going to take the attendance today. Since there are not many people here today, so I'm not going to take the attendance today. So it will be free day. You get a free excuse absence. For them, true. But probably they have their
Registration.
registration.
I have an appointment yesterday.
It was yesterday.
I have mine yesterday.
Yeah, but they had during our class time.
Mine was during class.
Really?
During class.
But yesterday we didn't have any class.
Of course we did. Well, not we, but I had school. I was here.
Oh. Then when did you register? After the class?
No, 7:45, that's the time that the class starts. The professor should give us a couple of minutes, because most of the students make their schedule anyway, they just gotta press enroll.
Oh, wow.
We make the schedule before that, and then we just press enroll when it starts.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. When people don't do it before.
Yeah.
After that, we just gotta like move the classes around on.
Wow, cool.
So there was no excuse not to leave. You should.
Yeah, but now because actually, excuse me, I have
No.
so that yeah, probably they have to do it with the advisors. No?
Online, we do ourselves, unless they're freshmen, and freshmen will take math on the first semester.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only thing I can kind of think of is like the classes tend to fill up and
Yeah.
if it goes.
You have to be there like at the time that you're, because everybody has a different appointment too. They don't have the same time.
I see the reason
They
why.
lie. You should give us extra credit for that. You should.
Yeah, let me take that. And I'll see what I can do later.
Yeah. Maybe at the end, you can be like, whoever came, that's why they did it.
10% is a lot.
Okay. So, 5%.
Extra. So today is 10. Oh, today is 11/1. Angel not here, Stephanie here, Mariel is not here, Chris here, Cassandra here, Angie here, Parker here, Christine here, Yaribel absent, Neiva here, Julia absent, Gavin absent, Gerald absent, Vansh here, Yvette here, Ryan here, Christian here, Ian here, Joel here, John Hill here, Janelle here, Cole absent, Isabella absent, Dua absent, Nazima here, Zihong absent, Matthew absent, Chris absent, Cindy absent, Melanie absent, Tony absent, Shri absent, Jocelyn absent, Jessica absent. See, so many absences.
For B, we're setting X to 0 for B, right?
When our x is 0, we are finding y-intercept.
Right.
Are they asking for y-intercept or anything? It says, what is the maximum height? Maximum minimum means what? Okay. So how can y be 0? When y is 0 is not the vertex. You know the answer, Chris. Not Chris, sorry. Stephanie. So for A, it says at what time the ball reaches the maximum height. So for A, what you're looking for? T.
We're finding.
Where? At which point?
So
T at vertex.
So the X,
Mm-hmm.
so the X value of the print.
Mm-hmm. So X is the T, which is negative B over 2A.
Keep forgetting that.
Why? Vertex means negative B over 2A automatically. Is the X below the vertex. So we have negative 320 over 2 times negative 16. So negative 320 over negative 32. Negative cancel out. 10. 32 goes to 32 once. And we still have a 0, so it becomes 10. So our maximum height we get after 10 seconds of throwing the ball. Now B says, good job. But now tell me, what is the maximum height? You know that after 10 seconds, you're going to reach the maximum height. But how much is that height? Stephanie?
Is that the one where we take the X value and plot it? So
Mm-hmm.
we have to set the X value 0. For nothing.
It's the y value of the vertex. Y value of the vertex. Anytime, anything to do with maximum, minimum means vertex. And since vertex has two things, sometimes you're just going to find the x value and you're done. Sometimes you also need to find the y value after finding the x value.
Find the y.
So we have negative 16, 10 square, 320, 10 plus 25. Do you multiply negative 16 with the 10 first, or do you do 10 square first?
10 squared.
10 does. What is 10 square? 100. And how much is 320 times 10? You don't have to do any math. You're just going to keep your 320 and you have an extra zero. Anytime you multiply with 10 or 10 or 100 or 1,000, anything, you keep the original number and that many zeros comes after that. And we have 25. So from here, we can already see it's 3225. And what is negative 16 times 100? 1600. So we have 3225. We are subtracting 1600. What is the answer? 1625. Fit. Oops. So if they give you this question, the non-calculated portion, the numbers will be different, the smaller. It will be smaller than the other one. But if they give you this question in that calculated portion, then the number will be something that is not easy to deal with. Clear?
And it's for sure we get this.
Definitely. There will be at least one of these in the final exam. Definitely. Now comes the same scenario, but sorry, same concept, but in a different scenario. No more throwing the ball. Now you're going to the money. After throwing the ball, he got tired, so he decided to earn some money. So he's selling some computer chips. Probably he's a smart guy. So he's selling computer chips. And the profit of selling X computer chips is given by this formula. So we have P of X is negative 3x squared plus 120x minus 1,000. They are telling us these X, these are number of computer chips. And they are telling us this thingy is the profit. Profit means money. How much money we get back after selling how many things can be calculated using this equation. Clear? Any question about the formula? So X means number of items, which is computer chips, and our Y represent the profit, the money. In A, it says, find the number of items to sell to maximize the profit. So whenever you see the word maximum, minimum, what you're looking for? Vertex. So before even if you don't understand anything, no problem. Anytime you see maximum, minimum, automatically means, hey, go ahead, find the vertex. But our vertex has two things. One is the X and one is the Y. In this scenario, X represent what?
Chips.
Chips. Number of chips. And Y represent what? Money, the profit.
Okay, so we're finding the Y value for the vertex.
It is find number of items.
Okay.
Number of items means number of chips. So find the number of items which gives us the maximum money. So in A, we are finding the X value of the vertex. Number of items means X, find X value of the vertex. He says, well, good job, we found the X value of the vertex. Now tell us how much money, how much profit we get by selling that many chips. So what you're looking for? Y value of the vertex. Profit means Y in this scenario. So find Y value of vertex. Who is confused so far? Anybody? No? So it was easier? Now C says, good job. You know how much money we got by selling how many units of chips? Now, actually, never mind. Let's do NB first, and then I'm going to introduce you to new concepts. So it says X is negative B over 2A. So negative 120 over negative 3. Negative cancel out. Sorry, what's wrong with me today? It's 2 times negative 3. That gives us negative 120 over negative 6. How many chips? 20. So that guy, if he sells 20 chips, he's going to get the maximum money. And then he wondered, well, how much would be that maximum profit? So you go find the Y value. Negative 3x squared plus 120x minus 100. Our x is 20. So negative 3. What is 20 squared? 400. Good job. You guys are smart. How about 120 minus 120 times 20? So with 2 zeros, we're going to keep 2 zeros. And then besides 0, what do we have? 12 times 2. It's 12 times 2 and then 2 zeros. 12 times 2 is 24. And then we have double zeros. Remember, this will be the non-calculator portion. So you really have to do it. Use my tricks. Like you don't have to multiply 120 by 20 manually. Anytime you're multiplying with zeros, leave them alone. Whatever remains, multiply those.
So yeah, I know. I feel like I'm probably gonna get confused with the X and the Y.
Have practice. Do the
Yeah.
homework. Okay, so from here, 2400 minus 1000. 1400. And negative 3 times 400. Negative 1200. So how much is the profit he gonna get? 200. It's not that much. That means his income is bad.
You know what the negative 1000 means?
Negative 1000.
Yeah, on the equation.
It's his cost of buying things.
Oh,
You know, to sell, first you have to buy things, right? Since he's buying, so he's losing money. So when you lose money, that is subtraction. This is what I think. Like that 1,000 is the beginning. Before he sells anything, how much he has. He has nothing because he spent $1,000. Spending $1,000 means a minus money.
That the profit, in the profit.
Profit comes after you sell whatever you already spent on your items. And that concept comes in part C. It says, well, even though you have to sell 20 chips to get $200 profit. But how many chips if you sell, you're gonna have a break even? Did you ever hear the word break even? What does break even mean in your life?
When you equal zero, like if you spend $1,000, you spend $1,000.
Right. So the amount you're spending is same amount you're receiving. So break even means you're not gaining any profit or you're not losing any money. It's same money, same as earning and losing in the same amount. This is called break even. So break even happens when our profit is zero. We are not earning any profit, so our profit is zero. They are asking for how many items your profit should be zero. So what do you think? How are you going to solve this? How are you going to find this out?
So why? X zero.
What zero?
Why?
X zero means in number of items is zero. But if we give a number of items zero, they are telling us break even means in our real life, profit is zero. In the exam, they're not going to tell you profit is zero. You have to remember that break even means you're not going to get any profit. So profit is zero. So in our equation, what is profit? Which variable represents the profit? Y. P of t, which is y. Mm-hmm. So in C, in C, they're telling us our profit is zero. In other words, in Y is a big zero.
If they zero, solve.
We are solving for what? For how many items you're gonna get no profit, but you're also not losing any money. See, he already lost $1,000 before he started his business. He lost $1,000. In other words, I think when he's going to get his $1,000 back. So how do you find this? How do you solve for X?
You could back.
1,000 is not divisible by 3.
So what?
Either you can use quadratic formula or you can use complete the square. Let's use complete the square and see what happens. So if you want to use complete the square, we want these two in one side. So we are going to move them. 3x squared plus 120x. That's going to give us negative 1,000. Minus. Thank you.
So we divide 120 by 2.
In order to complete the square, our x cannot have anything in the front. So we must divide by 3. So the other side going to get a fraction, but we don't care about that for now because you're going to complete the square on the left side. So you get x squared minus 120 divided by 3 is 3 goes to 12. How many times? 40. And let's keep this. So now let's complete the square. Oh, let me write this. I'm going to write the plus number in the front.
Also, this is where we divide the 3 squared over the m squared.
Mm-hmm. So what is our half of b? 20. So we squared the 20. sorry, we put 20 here, but we put the 20 square on the other side. Half of 40. Half of 40 is 20, so 20 goes inside without the square, but 20 with the square goes to the other side. And you always, always, always add this amount. We never subtract the same amount on the other side. If you want to subtract, you have to do it in the same side. Now you're happy. We have x minus 20 squared. On the other side, we have 400 minus 1000 over 3. We want to have the same LCD. So multiply top and bottom. So we have x minus 20 squared is 1200 minus 1000 over 3. So x minus 20 squared is 200, right? 200 over 3. And now our goal is to get this x alone. What do we do? Square root. So we have x minus 20 is we don't need the minus 1 because it's real life scenario, right? It's number of item, number of chips. When you're working with real life, minus doesn't make sense. Can you have negative chips, negative computer? So in this case, we don't do plus minus.
So we already know.
It has to be positive. We cannot have a negative. But how they want us to solve it without using calculator?
Simplify that.
Without using calculator, you cannot simplify, right? You cannot get a decimal number.
Would be 10 times square root of 2 over square root of 3.
So we have 102. So that gives us square root of 100, square root of 2. So we have 10 square root of 2 over square root of 3.
Yes. Or is it going to be
I think you do the multiple choice, so you can see what happening. You add the 20, so you get 10 square root of 3, square root of 2 over square root of 3 plus 20. I would still leave it. It's hard to deal with. Maybe the thing they want you to do is rationalize. Because we don't want to have a radical on the bottom. So we get 10 square root of 6 over 3 plus 20. Whatever amount that is, that's the answer. Probably if they ask for break even, they'll give you something that you can solve for, most likely. So probably it was actually a calculator question. Did I write calculator next to that? No. But you get the idea, right? Break even means profit 0 means solve for x. In other words, get the x-intercept. Anytime your y is 0, get the x-intercept. So if this question has like calculator question, all you have to do is you get these two. And this one is the answer. We disregard the other one.
No, but the homework you don't like is hard.
Homework has many questions, many types of questions.
It's not that hard.
The good news about that is that you're doing it just for the homework and quiz, but for the exams, these are the questions you're talking about.
Because it's like an actual, like, quantity that we're talking about. Are we meant to write it in decimal or is it like negative?
We cannot write in decimal, we even have a calculator.
Oh, so this part's in the non.
If we have it in the calculator side,
When you calculate, you have to do all these things, but it's calculator. type it on the graphic calculator and get that simplest in my easy. Clear? So same two things, maximizing, minimizing, or you're finding the y-intercept, but we see in two different scenarios. Now there is another type of scenario. It's much easier than the other two. It sounds hard, right? But for this one, you just have to remember one formula, and your life will be easy. So it says a father and his son can clean the house together in 2 hours. So when there are two, it takes 2 hours. But when the son works alone, it takes him an hour longer to clean than when he does it with his dad. So he's kind of slower, right? Together, it takes them 2 hours. But if he works alone, it takes 1 hour more than if his father works alone. So if his father works alone and maybe it takes 1 hour, for him, it will take 2 hours. If his father alone cleans it takes him 5 hours, then he needs 6 hours. So whatever amount his father needs, he needs 1 more hour extra. Either he is slower or he is too busy with his phone. It takes longer. Find out how long it takes for the son to clean the house alone. So you want to see what actually he does. I mean, not true. How long it takes him alone to clean the house. Let's say X represent the father. X is the time needed by the father. Then time needed by the son is what? X plus 1. See all those double line, parallel line means that thingy. Yeah, same thing. So if you know what is X and what's the other thing, then you remember one formula. If you memorize it, your life is easy. It says 1 over time needed by person 1. If you add that with 1 over time needed by person 2, and then it doesn't matter how many people you have in your equation, it's all together comes to 1 over time needed for together.
So this is
Time needed by together.
I think breaking down we change it.
Remember, time needed by together.
Sorry, wait, third one, the plus when you just copied it, so it's the same as the needed by.
Here we are going to need 2 people, right?
Yeah.
But some scenario we need to work with 3 people or 4 people or 5 people. So it doesn't matter how many people you're working with, you're going to add each of their time, 1 over each of their time, and then when we add all of this together, it will be equal to 1 over how long it will take if they all work together.
That was the homework. And you need to teach you.
Yeah, I thought it will not be in the exam, but then I saw, oh,
So for
it's
this,
in the homework.
this particular equation, we're only doing time needed by person 1 and time needed by person 2. That's it.
True, because you have only 2 people. So make sure for any type of working together, this is the formula you must remember. Memorize. For any type of working together question. Maybe the scenario will be different, but it doesn't matter. As long as you have a scenario where you have many people or many things they're working together, that means that's the formula. So 1/r time for the first one, plus 1/r time for the second one, plus 1/r time for the third one, plus 1/r time for the millionth one. It doesn't matter. You add all of them, and it will be equals to 1/r if they all work together. How much it is? So in our case, they told us that for, so we have 1/r dead plus 1/r son is 1/r together. This is our case. So how long dead needs to complete that work?
1/x plus 1/x plus 1.
So dead needs X hours. That means son needs X plus 1 hours. Do you know how long it takes if they work together? 2 hours. So X hour, X plus 1 hour, and this is 2 hour. We didn't need the hour, but I'm telling you so that you can see it's hour times.
Is that one where we move the ants for the make the four equal to the denominator, or the lowest one back?
So either you can move everything to one side and work together, or you can simply work with this thingy because this side has all x's. The other side doesn't have any x.
So you couldn't get that denominator.
We can, but instead of thinking about all three denominators, we can simply think about two denominators.
We need the right side alone.
Right side alone. So what is the LCD between x and x plus 1? Both of them, because one is not a multiple of the other one. Like, can you, if you multiply x by something, can you get x plus 1? No. That means you have to take both of them. Anytime if multiply one denominator by another one, gives you the other one, then it's the bigger one. But here, it's not possible. So it's x plus 1. So let me actually rewrite this. 1/x plus 1/x plus 1 is 1/2. So we need x plus 1 here, and we need x here. So we have x plus 1. We combine our numerator, x plus 1 plus x is 1/2. 2x plus 1/x, x plus 1 is 1/2. Now we don't want the denominator anymore, right? So how can you get rid of the denominator? We multiply both sides by x plus 1. So denominator cancel out. We have no more denominators. 2x plus 1, and then we have x plus 1/2. But we didn't want the 2 on the denominator.
We'll multiply the other side.
4x plus 2 is x squared plus x. Either you can do it in 2 steps, or there is a shortcut. The shortcut is that if you have, let me change the, if you have 2x plus 1 over x plus 1 is 1/2. This is same as you can multiply them diagonally and set them equal to one another.
Wait, you said we have 2x plus 1.
If you have two fractions on the equal side of, on both sides of the equal sign, you can always multiply them diagonally. So we get 2 times 2x plus 1 in one side, and we have x times x plus 1 in the other side.
That's really
Yes, only when you have equal sign in the middle. If you don't remember that, then do it in 2 steps like the way I did. But in order to solve, what do you need?
Divide by 4.
In order to solve, what do you want to see in one side? 0. We must have 0 in one side. Do you have 0 in one side? So what can you do to have 0 in one side? 4x minus 2 minus 4x minus 2. So my left side will be 0. The right side has a positive x squared. We have minus 3x minus 2. And now we are happy because we have a simple quadratic equation. How do you solve quadratic equation? First step you always think of is the factoring. Can we factor this? Two numbers, if you multiply, becomes -2. If you add, becomes -3. Oh man, we cannot. -2 times -1 should be +2, but we don't have +2.
but there's more though. You can look at the quadratic.
Yeah. -b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Guess what? In the exam, I'm going to give you that is something factorable. I don't want to deal with this. And I'm too lazy. So let me actually cheat. Let me go to Desmos and graph this. We have x squared minus 3x minus 2. You can give me the square root one, and I can take the decimal one from here.
Find that 3 plus or minus 4.
3.56. 3.56. What do you have?
3 plus or minus 4 of 17.
Over 2. I'm going to take both of them. What you're
No.
working with, what is x?
Time.
Time. So can you take both of them? So you cannot take the negative. Our answer has to be only 3 plus part of 17 over 2, which is 3.56. Okay. 3.56 hours. So, are you done? Really? What they're asking for? Find how long it takes whom? The sun. We said X is the time for dad. Dad needs 3.56 hours. The sun needs 4.56 hours. So you're looking for, oops, we are looking for sun, not dad.
If we take 3 plus the whole side over 2 and we're going to add 1, what do you think 4 plus square root 17 over 2? No? It would be that.
So sun is 1 plus 3 plus square root of 17 over 2. You need the same denominator, right? So it's 2 plus 3 square root of 17 over 2. Whole thing over that.
But that would be just 3 over.
No. So this is irrational. You cannot add that with that 2. And with this, you're done with what problems that you need for your exam, final exam, and this in-class exam. In the exam.
We're not going to see the one with the yard. No.
So far, all this time, like from past 4 years or something, they had only this type of question in the final. So all you have to do is remember only these types of question. Maximum, minimum, and when the y is, for example, here, we have y0 at the end, so you solve for x. For the other two, for some parts, we had y0. For other parts, we found the maximum, minimum means vertex. So either you're looking for vertex or your y will be 0 somewhere. So in our next class on Tuesday, we are going to start chapter 12. Something different than whatever you did so far. We are going to work with log, exponential function, all these things. It will be fun. So, goodbye everyone. Have a good weekend. And if you want to see the solution, watch the internet recording from my morning class. What I did was I graphed it.
Oh, I have to learn.
Yeah. So visit YouTube. Search how to find vertex and then you calculator. In your calculator. Or how to find x-intercept in your calculator, whatever calculator. And then to remember it will be easy. Not bad.
You next.
Mhm.